Oh, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing a-okay. My brain's melting a little bit from all these damn interviews, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Oh, that's good.
Nice. Okay, so I'm guessing you understand what we're trying to do here and whatnot. So I suppose I guess I'm going to make this a trend now. I'm going to kick it off by asking you when you started playing Warframe and what kept you playing it.
Sure. I think I started 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and I think what kept me playing was just the pure spite of killing things, just constantly.
All right, cool. Mostly the questions are just for context for the viewers and, of course, for digital extremes because different people come from different situations within the game. Some have been around for many,
Yeah.
many years every day, like my stupid ass. Some have started in the first year and then quit and just now came back, and, these kinds of things. So I think that it's important context to know where people are coming from. Right, so you
Yeah.
have some stuff to say about Warframe or to digital extremes directly. So the stage is yours. Go right ahead.
Yeah. I think you know the Guide to the Lotus, that sort of thing.
About who?
The you know the Guides of the Lotus, they sort of
Yes.
group of yeah, good. uh, there's some sort of mods and admins all over Warframe, like in game and on Discords and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I sound terrible. Uh,
It's all good.
uh, some of them say some pretty discriminatory things and sort of get away with it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of shows that D's a bit incompetent for that. Either that or
Yeah.
they support it.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people they don't sort of think it's that bad-ish, but that's usually because it's not really aimed at them. That makes any sense.
Yes, of course, but I mean, people can also be serious dumbasses too, and have humor
Yeah.
that just isn't humor.
Oh yeah, I've got a pretty like thick skin and darkest humor as you could possibly imagine, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can tell if someone's being serious or not, and
Of course.
I've some pretty hefty conversations with a few admins.
Yeah.
I think one of them, I don't know what's his name now. Oh, I can't see it. He sort of said something along the lines of, "Don't talk about that sort of thing. It is disgusting, and it should not be in this chat."
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty much just me talking off the boys about some gay shit,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. I've seen and heard of such things as well, and honestly,
Yeah,
my message to people who respond like that is just fuck you guys, straight up.
yeah, pretty much.
like, I don't know. It's like how some people unironically like miss me with that gay shit, and I'm just over here like miss me
Yeah.
with that hetero shit. Shut up. But
Oh yeah.
nah, seriously though, that's nonsense. But just to kind of, well, not cut things short, but make it very concise. You
Okay.
mentioned Guides of the Lotus and just generally some mods and whatnot being, well, straight up assholes and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
do you know of the video that Raytalius made addressing that exact problem?
Oh yeah, I saw that one. It's about D Glenn. Everyone says nerf
I
his
I,
page and
I
everything
don't
like that.
know if D.E. Glenn was mentioned. I don't know, but he
I think it
did.
was him.
He
Yeah,
basically
sorry.
ripped DE and the Guides of the Lotus, specifically a new one,
Yeah.
and addressed the situation. And as a result of it, DE retired the Guides of the Lotus program. So those guides, those people don't exist anymore.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad these people don't like earn the game anymore. I
Right.
don't know in the official Warframe Discords. I don't know if they're still there or not.
Yeah.
But I did try to report it, but I got nothing
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know either. But from as far as I know, that has been dealt with. So,
Uh,
other than that, is there anything else that you want to get off of your chest towards DE? Because like it's a mute point, kind of, because it's dealt with. You know.
yeah. I
Okay.
think the thing like I can imagine now is just the way they sort of handle when the community asks for something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen a few things. Someone said something like making the former like timer to just 1 hour, so they just decrease the timer by 1 hour. Like for fuck's sake.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. I'm just over here like, mm-hmm. Yep. There. Yeah. They
They
reduced
just
the crafting time from 24 hours to 23 hours.
oh god, why? I don't know if that was a joke. I honestly hope it was.
No,
I
no, I'm serious. That went live with the last hotfix.
why is what happened? There used to be like releases of weapons and maps and tile sets, and now it's just this. I
Yeah.
give up.
Now, I don't even want to go in on the reasons why they did that because they explained before why they don't or can't. I think the word that they actually used was can't reduce crafting
No,
time to 1 hour, 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever. That's fine. I don't care too much. I know it affects other people more severely, especially ones like weekend warriors, people who literally can't log on other than the
yeah,
weekend. It's going to take them ages to craft, I don't know, 10 forma, whereas I'll have 10 forma in 10 days because I log on every day, if nothing else, just to get the daily.
yeah.
But uh, you just did kind of hint at apparently the game has had this trend of updates being less good than before. So you said that you started about 2 years ago, right?
Oh yeah, ages ago.
Okay. About two calls ago, I had someone in here who also started roughly 2 years ago, and I asked them the same thing. Do you feel that since when you started compared to today, that the updates have been getting better or staying the same or getting worse?
I'd say they're getting worse, to be honest. Like,
Okay, why?
it's just getting more consistent. The best thing I can sort of come up with in my head is the recent update, Spears, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Scarlet Spear. Yeah, Scarlet Spear.
um, I've sort of been slowly farming it, 'cause I've been playing other games, that sort of thing. Doom Eternal just came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I just logged in like yesterday, last night, and every server I went into was straight up empty. I couldn't join a squad or anything,
Mm-hmm.
like at all.
Yeah,
I didn't even know
you're
if
the
it was
second guy that
broken.
mentions that. Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but it sort of makes me feel like the community just hates the updates and just don't enjoy them, which I can sort of get. I don't think I've enjoyed so far is Grendel. No, you don't like him too much.
No, me and Grendel can't be friends, but I mean, hey, if you like Grendel, then more power to you. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's alright.
When I say that you guys suck for liking Grendel or Rhino or whatever, it is just kidding. You can like whatever you want. And
Yeah,
the other point is, I can make valid reasons why I don't like something. You know,
yeah,
which
yeah.
are just that's just my subjective opinion. It shouldn't mean that other people aren't
Oh,
allowed. That's just silly.
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
Jizo, why are you so toxic? Wait, whoa. Well, why am I toxic? You don't like Grendel. So, that's not toxic. What's wrong with you?
That
But
doesn't stop me from playing.
yeah,
I'm still
exactly.
gonna play. I don't care.
Yeah, there you go. That's healthy thought right there. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, about what you said about the update, or rather the operation specifically, it appears that not too many people like it as well, and from what I can tell, um, is it's a mix of things. For one, Scarlet Spear was hyped up a little bit too much. I feel
Oh,
too much for its
yeah,
own
yeah,
good. Let's put it that way. Uh, DE and
definitely.
of course us players as a community, we kind of made it appear like Scarlet Spear operation was going to be this huge significant thing, which lore wise, yeah, it probably is, because it's like, the war is starting, blah blah, and that's all cool and fine and dandy. I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
talk about this without spoiling. But in terms of gameplay mechanics, what the actual mission is you do, it's not a lot. It's not horrible. Bear in mind. I don't know. I'm
no,
gonna I'm
no.
gonna tell you this and see how you feel about it. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. By the way, it's totally fine to put me in my place. I'm just saying. Um, the game mode that we have are basically mobile defense, two times mobile defense with extra steps, right? As a
Yeah,
game mode, to play it one or two or three or four times, it's not bad. It's not horrible. It's cool. It has that
yeah.
epic vibe to it, I feel, and it's a little bit not exactly stressful. Maybe that's just my veteran bias talking, but it does feel like a battle. So I think,
Yeah, it feels like I'm doing something
all right,
other than
cool,
just being
yeah,
rude.
cool. I think where it kind of derails is when you add grind into the equation, because you're forced, thanks to the way the credit system works and all that stuff, you're forced to run that one little mission that is essentially about as intense as an extermination, right? Hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what frustrates people. It's a little bit difficult for people,
Yeah.
and I get that because we're emotional beings, right? A little bit difficult for people to address the repetitiveness of it, rather than just the game mode as in quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The source of the game itself, the fabric of that game mode is okay, I think, but not when you have to do it 100 times. But you have to
Yeah. I
do it
think
100 times.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like I prefer the survival than like most other game modes because I don't have to do something and I can just sort of switch off. But then that's about it,
Yeah.
and that's a problem.
What would
Obviously.
you have expected from Scarlet Spear operations specifically, or maybe even just generally from operations when DE does announce that they're going to make this operation thing and it's going to be like this 1 month event, blah blah. What would you expect as a player? What would be really cool for you?
What I kind of expect is for the sort of thing to not be buggy and kind of work, but I kind of want.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that.
I love the sort of feeling from Railjack. I'll give them that. The getting the loot. Just I've never like destroyed lockers before, like in a good year or so. I don't need to, but
Yeah.
now there's actually like loot worth getting.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's just repeat of the same common mods and crappy resources I'll have like a million of, which I'll never use.
Okay, that is, I'd say that that's a little bit of a veteran-ish kind of issue because we have everything.
Yeah.
That's just that can't be helped. New players will appreciate that because everything's new for them, right? But since we're not just trying to rant here and like bash DE or whatever, we're trying to go into a direction and try to help guide the community into thinking in a constructive way. So, what could DE do with these resources that we simply don't need? What isn't there like? Do you have any idea of something that they could do with those resources to make them valuable even to us, by any chance?
I reckon there's something you could do with them.
What?
Make them sort of you'd use them up, then you have to sort of get more, so it actually makes them recyclable and more useful to get.
Mm-hmm.
Is for other items.
Yeah.
So say I want to grab a bunch of endo, I can just trade it for all the. Actually, I forgot what the name of the resources are.
Yeah, that's okay. There are so many.
Yeah. Say I want to trade a bunch of scrap. Yeah, let's go say scrap. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get you.
Yeah. I'll trade like 1 million scrap for 10,000 endo.
Yeah, there you go. See, that does not sound, because I too have had this idea and suggestion. Many other people as well. To me, that idea doesn't sound like rocket science. And yet, after 7 years of people complaining about that, right, more and more so because we're getting millions and millions of these things, it's not a thing in the game. And I don't think I've ever heard DE speak about seriously doing something with it. Now, I've recently, just a few weeks ago, started playing Guild Wars 2, right? And in Guild Wars 2, you also get a lot of material, right? And you can salvage it, though. So, although you farm useless stuff, you can salvage it for a chance to get something you can use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, just like you suggested, I could maybe, I don't know, spend 1 million plastids or something for 10,000 credits or 5,000 endo or who the fuck cares, anything, right? It's like, why is that not a thing in Warframe? That would be so helpful.
Yeah, definitely. You sort of cut down the grind and actually make the grind worth it at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Because, back in the day with the T4, not T4, but the Tower Void system, that's older than 2 years ago. Okay. Are you familiar with it?
I don't think I have. I've probably done it, but I haven't realized.
Okay, well, Prime farming used to be different than what it is now. I don't want to get too into it because we're actually already in overtime in this call, but that's okay. Time flies, man. What can I say? So back in the day, you would have a T4. That would be the highest tier, so an Oxy, essentially. A T4, let's say, survival key one player, or all players, I don't remember, it doesn't matter, would invest the key to gain access to the Oxy survival, for example. And
Right, I think I know.
and that
Yeah.
Oxy would drop every rotation. It would drop a set, something from a set drop table, right? And as you would go through these intervals of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, and so on and so forth, you would just cycle through that drop table until you hopefully got the rarest drop in there. And instead of like today using a new relic for every cycle, you would only use that one initial key to gain access to that mission. So you would have incentives to stay in there as long as possible. Now, what I want to get at is when I jump in there in hopes of dropping, let's say, Chroma Prime Systems or some whatever, it doesn't matter. I go in there to drop that. The rare drops will only drop at 20 minutes. So I do 20 minutes, it doesn't drop, we continue. 40 minutes, it doesn't drop, we continue. 60, and so on and so forth, right? And at the end of the day, maybe you didn't get the thing that you were looking for, but maybe you got 5 formas or something else that was significant, prime junk, essentially. So that was kind of a nice feeling. Even though you didn't get what you went out to look for, you still got something and it didn't feel like an entire waste of time,
Yeah.
So,
However,
yeah.
when I did the sort of the same thing, I was farming ash, and I was trying to get systems. I spent 7 days doing the same mission, and I didn't get the systems.
Ouch.
I still don't have them.
God damn
It
it.
felt like a waste of time as well. But that
So,
would actually feel like,
so you also didn't get anything that you feel would have been worth the time, like just other stuff
No.
that collateral drops.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
definitely an issue with Warframe. I'd say is that if you don't drop the thing that you're actually trying to get, there's nothing else in there worthwhile. There is nothing that's like a nice little side drop where you're like, oh, okay, well, cool. Which again, to circle back to salvaging items or repurposing items that we have too much of, like you mentioned, right? That could help with that problem, because I no longer have to cry about getting 15,000 plastids out of a long survival, for example. I'd be like, oh, okay, I could convert that into something else then,
Yeah.
I don't know why this shit is rocket science for DE, but, like, whatever. Right.
Yeah, I don't think they listen to Yeah.
Do you have any... Do you have... I know, we both could. Everybody could. We could be in calls for hours talking about this stuff. But since we are on overtime, would you have any final words that you'd like to say? Something that you want the community to hear, or DE to hear, or other YouTubers, or whoever to hear?
Yeah. I'll give you like one last little point.
Sure.
I don't know if you've ever played For Honor or anything like that, but there's this sort of meme. There's this sort of meme where they have one character and they buff him each time because they didn't want to rework him properly. And I kind of feel like the same thing's happening with Grendel. Like, you could make him good and just instead of just adding a little buff here and there, it doesn't change anything. It's still bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Grendel is definitely way up on the list of something that needs a proper fix, or tweak. I don't agree that he needs a full rework, but definitely some severe tweaks, maybe some different synergies or something. I don't know. He needs something, I'd say. Yeah. On the other hand, I can forgive DE for that, let's say, because he's the newest frame and there are other more pressing issues. Like a couple of calls ago, we were talking about Chroma, for example. Like, let Grendel dwell for a minute and fix some other frames and some other stuff first, okay? That's more pressing, I'd say.
That's fair. Like, no self-damage.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know. Right, so I'm going to have to say my goodbyes, and thank you so much for your time.
No worries.
If you'd ever like to be back on the show, then we could definitely have that arranged, no problem. And yeah, thank you. See you next time, I'd say.
Yeah, see you soon, hopefully.
Awesome. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Swazdula.
Hello.
Hi. Hold on. Let me turn you up just a little bit. I think that's better. Okay.
Is that better?
Yes, actually. It's more clear, but all right, that's fine. Right. So I think I kind of just snatched you. Oh, let me start the time. No, we don't need the timer yet. I think I just kind of snatched you up out of the blue. I'm going to ask, just for more context for anyone who happens to watch this. Did you see my post about this whole radio interview thing here that we're doing?
Yeah, for the Discord to come in. Yeah, I did.
Right. Okay. But you had no intention of speaking here. You just kind of showed up.
Uh, yeah, I guess.
Okay, cool, sure. Now I'm just clarifying for myself too, and well, for context for everyone else. All right. So you mentioned that you're a new player to Warframe, a fairly
Uh,
new player.
yeah, fairly new.
Okay, then I'm going to start off with you the way I did with everyone else so far. When did you start, and what kept you playing the game?
So I started around a year ago, but I haven't been playing actively.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I played when like Atarax maining was a thing just before 3.0, and
Yeah.
I started then, and I just after a while I stopped playing because the game was too easy for me. I finished the star chart in 2 weeks or 1 week. I had nothing to do. I could take on every enemy. But
Wow.
then 3.0 came in, which was a good, really good in my opinion, because they got rid of Atarax and Maymin.
Yeah.
And then after I came back after a while, after 3.0, like a month after, or 2 weeks ago I came back, and yeah, I've been playing since then. I've been grinding. The grind is much harder, and I've been trying to complete everything as a completionist. But I still find the game easy after I get a good mod config. I finished the quest to get Excalibur, Umbra, and the Skiajati,
Yeah.
and I just modded them fully, and I can now take every enemy in the game. I have the Redeemer. I can kill everything. It's it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I'm a little bit, well, not exactly surprised. This isn't the first time I've heard this, but I haven't heard it all that often. That especially new players, specifically, have the same issue. They join the game, and the game's like cool and fine and dandy and all that, but it's just too freaking easy. And to hear that you finished the entire star chart after just 2 weeks and you already feel like you can murder everything in the game is kind of sad, you know?
Yeah, they did remove the Atarax maiming, of course, but the same applies still. If you're able to get like a good mod setup with a decent weapon, you're literally able to murder everything.
Right. Okay. Cool. Then this is going to be very interesting. I feel. What would, because apparently the problem is where's the challenge, right? What would you feel as a newer player that has the same issue that a veteran does, essentially? What would you feel would be proper challenge? How could DE bring challenge into the game and make it more interesting in that same stroke?
I know the gameplay now. Of course, the general gameplay is fun, but because there's no challenge, we need to have some form of challenge in like the AI, because it needs to change, and the power scaling is completely messed. Because if I can destroy level like 20 enemies as easy as I can destroy level like 180 enemies, then it's just stupid. There needs to be some form of challenge. I think you said it in one of your videos earlier, but make the AIs like more smart,
Yeah.
make them easier to kill you, so you have to actually evade them, like you said,
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But like the basis of it is like just make it harder for us to like complete it, and then as a result of that, gain more rewards.
Yeah, yeah. So not just necessarily more rewards, I'm guessing, but also just something that's scaled, something that is sufficiently rewarding, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, because I can't stand it. I don't need to care anymore because I don't necessarily need any specific drop, okay? But just generally, it does look kind of disgusting when you do a 2 or 3 or 4 hour survival mission, for example, or 100 waves of defense, and you come out and you have like 700 salvage from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? What is that? Oh, look, I got 30,000 credits. Great. That's nothing, but okay.
It's not the fact that it's hard to find where to loot, because I could just go onto Wiki and find where to get Oricon cells, and I know you can find a decent farm and you can get it effectively. It's the fact that, say we're going into long missions, we're
Yeah.
not gaining it like as you said, sufficiently. We're not. It's not like over time you're gaining more,
Yes.
and you're not like for your effort. You're not getting rewarded for your effort. It's just,
Right.
oh, you kill things. Now you get their loot.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not getting rewarded as a challenge.
Right. I agree with that, and a lot of the community seems to agree with that as well. On the same note, and you mentioned one of the recent videos. I'm guessing I said it in the Scott video that I made with his simulator thing with Doodad. He no, not he. I'm sidetracking a little bit. You threw me off with your mute. Hold
Yeah,
on.
sorry.
No. It's all good. It's all good. I mentioned in the video.
A few moments later.
Oh, right. I mentioned in that video that perhaps it would help if DE would kind of rescale the star chart, so where the lower 3 planets or something would have a maximum scale up to, I don't know, 30 or 40 or something. So very early on you would hit those levels, and later higher planets would have higher levels, like 300s, 400s, whatever. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And someone in the comment section actually got mad about that and said, how are new players going to play it then when it gets too hard? Yes, if you would keep the drops the same, then yes, then my suggestion would be insane. But my suggestion kind of entails, which I didn't mention, but I'm guessing that was needless to say, the drops would have to be sufficient as well. You would have to have on lower levels when you're a brand new player, let's say you have level 20 enemies and you're hopelessly outclassed, but you somehow fight your way through it anyway, you would have to have the chance to drop a, I don't know, let's say a fully ranked shred or something. So some kind of mod that might significantly help you so you can break through that barrier of difficulty. You know, something like that.
Yeah, it's just scaling the progression. It's the fact that once you get into this game, you should have access to this planet. Then you have to progress through, but then you get rewarded based on your level, and you're fighting people that are at your level. It shouldn't be too easy. It shouldn't be too hard. It should just be balanced. Then that's just what's going to make this game good. I don't know what else to say really, because it's purely just making it so it's balanced.
Yeah, it's, you know, see, when I'm hearing all of you guys speak about these things, it seems like we all don't understand why DE is struggling with these issues, because it seems like it's very straightforward, which is exactly also the reason why I would like to get this video series here started, so that DE can actually hear what's going on, rather than rely on silly Twitter posts where they ask city Twitter dwellers what they should improve in the game. Don't ask Twitter. Ask people in game. Damn, what the hell, you know? I don't know.
We're not.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're not denying that it's hard to make these like improvements, but we're trying to outline which ones you should make. We're not trying to
Exactly.
make this game rubbish. We're trying to help it. We're trying to make it make the longevity of its future just longer.
Yeah. We want Warframe to be the best that it can be, and it's a little bit frustrating that, at least in my opinion, maybe you agree, I feel that after all this time of playing this game intensely and whatnot, I feel Warframe could be a lot better than it is right now. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it could be better already, you know?
Yeah, I honestly, the moment I got this game, I love everything about it. And when you're a new player, it's really satisfying to just progress.
Yeah.
And I imagine now, of course, it's harder, but it's just satisfying. But then, as you said, or as everyone said, once you become a veteran and you're able to take everything down, there's no challenge.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do. They have arbitrations and ESO
and they're all still laughable.
I'm not sure if they implemented it, because I did see in another one of your videos the S curve for the scaling.
That's a thing now. Yes.
What, so it caps at 80?
It doesn't cap at 80. I did go to what, 3.5 or 4 hours of survival, and the enemy level was 4,000.
Yeah, but does it scale? Does it scale? The armor doesn't scale at to 4,000 though, does it? It stops at like a certain point.
I actually don't know. I don't know. I think it must. It must, because you can tell that the enemies are,
Yeah.
they're more difficult to kill over time, but not as bad as it used to be for obvious reasons, you know.
Yeah.
Not that that mattered, because I mean we have the ability to strip armor entirely regardless of level, at which point everything is easy to kill. But yeah, I agree with that. Warframe is a pretty good journey. I'd say a pretty decent journey when you start, and you have all the quests to play through, all of the story and the lore. It's very rich in that aspect. And Warframe is a pretty game as well. It looks nice and it has a really cool vibe and all that. But it lacks one very significant thing that many other games seem to have, and that is first job, acquire power. And that's a cool journey. But once you've acquired power, the game's over for you, essentially. There's nothing to take your power to, unfortunately. And that's just a little frustrating, and it's not good for the game's longevity, I'd say. You know?
Yeah. They did say something about what's it called? Setting your own level in a mission.
Yeah,
and
like a
fighting that.
modifier
Yeah,
or something.
I personally think that'd be an amazing idea, because say you're having a challenge, not having a challenge, you're able to set it, and you should gain rewards based off that. So you put in longer time for higher enemies, you gain higher rewards. It's really simple, and
Yeah.
I feel if they find like good scaling and rework the AI, it could be so good. And
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't even have to be hard, because we're setting it, and you can literally, the way you code that, you don't have to code it individually. It just scale.
Yeah.
So it's just really.
Well, I reckon that might be an issue with matchmaking, because if I scale it all the way up to, I don't know, let's just say 1,000, enemy level 1,000 or something, and my teammates have it scaled lower, how is that going to work? Also, if they change that to where everyone scales into the same thing, then I think matchmaking might also be broken, since not everyone is going to be using level 1,000 enemies. However, look at the index system. When you start an index, you can decide if you want to go with a low scale, mid scale, or high scale, right? So, or stakes rather, right? So why not have something similar with enemy level? You can do any mission of the game with set reward, and you can decide what scale you want to start at. Level, I don't know, bitch mode 10, level mid 50 or something, or high level starting at, I don't know, 500 maybe, or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and then respectively, the reward will also change, you know? I
Yeah.
don't, that would be very, very simple, and I think a fairly elegant solution. Maybe not the best one, but I'm no developer. I'm just providing ideas, you know? I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's actually really cool. Like being able to set a specific region in which we want to play in, and like fight enemies at. I
Yeah.
feel that's going to be good. And if there's reward scale with it, then it's just going to be like a how do I say it? Like the progression is just very smooth.
Yeah, I'd say so. You can, as you acquire power, you can take on higher challenges and gain better rewards, and what, as you know, as it should be, I'd say.
I feel like bosses as well is a really good idea. Like
Yes, agreed.
you said that in your survival, at a certain level, say every 15 rounds, which in my opinion is a good place to go.
Yeah, sounds good.
You get a certain boss which comes in like with a much smarter AI, and he gives you a challenge, and if you kill him, maybe you gain an extra reward for that 15 mark.
Yeah.
And
For
then
example.
if you lose, then in my opinion, you should lose all your stuff. It should be a challenge, and yeah, it would make
Yes.
you mad. But then you want to do it again to get your rewards.
Exactly. That's another thing that is no longer a thing in Warframe is risk. I remember like the T4 survivals that I mentioned earlier, when you would go into those and let's say in defense specifically, die, right? You fail, you lose everything. The game didn't care if you went to level or defense wave 125. The game didn't care if the target died at level or wave 125. Everything you gained up until that point was gone. And that was terrifying. I remember those days were really fun because I would actually sweat. Like I was like just all nervous and shit and playing like, oh god, what if we fuck up? What if we fuck up? You know? And
Yeah.
the risk was there, but the reward was also cool because you felt accomplished, you know?
Yeah. That could be used in like every form of mission as well, because take even the relic system. You can, if you die a given amount of times, or you don't complete the relic in a given amount of time, then you
Yeah.
lose your relic. It's really simple,
Yeah.
but it gives a challenge and it gives a risk, and then you get rewarded for that risk with a new prime part, and
Yeah.
it's yeah.
It seems like it should be fairly easy and straightforward, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, as a concept, I don't know about implementing it in the game. I do understand that some things will take a lot of work and a lot of restructuring, other things not so much. But as a concept, I don't understand why these things are not being taken seriously.
Yeah, given that they don't take years to develop it like they usually do, or not
Yeah.
years, but like a long time,
Yeah.
then and they actually listen to our ideas, then we're gonna stick around as a community and wait for the game.
Yeah,
As long as
exactly.
we're not giving up on this game because we don't want it. We want to make it good. We're just providing them with ideas.
Yeah.
That
Well, not easily, at least.
Oh yeah,
They're really forcing our hands partially. It's like from my situation, it's very much like DE. I really love your game, and I've really loved it for a long time, but you're making it harder from year to year. You know, that's kind of my situation personally, and it's not fun. It's sad, kind of. You know.
yeah. I get what you mean.
Well, anyways, do you have any finishing final words that you'd like to just put out there for either DE directly or the viewers watching or other content creators because we're in overtime?
Yeah. I'm no expert, but as a new player, I just want a challenge. I don't want me to get a god weapon with a god mode config and then be able to slay everything in the game. I want a challenge and I want to be rewarded for it. Whether
Right.
you implement that however you want, I just want it to happen. I want to be able to like do stuff.
Yep.
That's just it,
Challenge,
my opinion.
risk. Okay. Yeah. I agree. I very much agree. And that's from someone who is still a fairly new player. And that's, I don't know, that shouldn't be the case. But unfortunately, that is the sad reality for many newer players. Show up for a couple of weeks and they're in the same situation as a veteran is after years. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Right. Well, thank you so much for your time and being on the show right fast. Would be great to have you back on sometime if you want to. And,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Have a wonderful day, dude.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.